All right, hey y'all, it's Pizza. We're back here today in Stranded Deep. Yes, we are back. If you're new to the channel, uh, you're you're probably getting used to that right there. If you're new to the channel, um, I have played Stranded Deep in the past. I've streamed it in the past, but what I haven't done, of course, is here, let's flip through these, let people know. I don't have a playlist for it or anything, and it's just something I kind of play off and on. I don't really think I've ever done anything, not even really like a partial series, just played a few rounds like in golf, right? uh, but I thought we'd have some fun yesterday in the long dark video. I said, hey, why don't we download something from a library and play it for the Christmas holidays. Speaking of which, it is Christmas Eve here in the United States. Merry Christmas Eve. uh, if that's your holiday, happy holiday. And if you celebrate other things, happy holidays to you, if you got them going on right now. But anyway, yeah, so I thought for Christmas we'd do a little something different. Honestly, uh, the three I was thinking about was this game, Grounded, and Conan Exiles. Uh, Grounded, the only thing about Grounded is I don't think I really want to start a new playthrough. I like what I've got going on. So I decided to skip that. Conan Exiles is great. It just doesn't always run well. It can crash uh, sometimes often and get super laggy. So I was like, yeah, Stranded Deep's pretty nice. Also, it only takes 5 minutes to download, whereas Conan Exiles, by the time I remembered what I was doing around like 4 in the morning here in Virginia, I was like, man, I'm not going to be able to play till like tonight. Because it's going to take hours and hours to download. Plus, I'll be watching other videos and playing other games, and it'll slow things down. I was like, yeah, 5 minutes. Yeah, I can sit here for 5 minutes and wait for this to download. But, let's go over to the particulars. Now, if you're familiar with the channel, you know I don't always play games correctly, I guess is a term. Anytime you give me some customization, I'm going to customize and play around with things. Uh, this game, and like a lot of survival games, uh, I've mentioned this before. Some of them I play just the way they are. I played the Forest the way it's supposed to be. I played Green Hell the way it's supposed to be. But I enjoy the survival aspect without necessarily having to kill natives or monsters or whatever, right? Green Hell, I love it. I think it's a really great and tough survival game on its own without having to take out the local population, right? That I've forced myself into that situation. That's really only one of the choices where I'm like morally opposed. The Forest, not so much. They're monsters or whatever. Uh, but again, I'm not really trying to survive. When I play a survival game, I don't really want to play against monsters and zombies and all that kind of stuff necessarily. I do like the actual like, hey, I'm stranded on a desert island, or I'm stranded, in the long dark in the north, and I got to fight the elements and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, yeah, this will be a bit of a customized playthrough. Let's start out with the game itself, and let's talk about a few of our options I've got set. The volume in this game is crazy loud, right? So I've turned everything down, and you can see the music is turned way down. Let me turn it all the way up for you for just a second. I mean, I talk pretty loud, but that could be a bit much. And you're hearing the UI snap in the background. Listen to it all the way up. So those are down to 10%. I'm not going to get rid of them completely. There really isn't a lot of voice you need to worry about, so I just turned it down to half. The effects we turned down just a little bit, and the environment volume. I don't know how much is that. 80%. Like the sounds in this game are crazy loud, right? Uh, so the thunder for the storms could be kind of loud. Just letting you know. But the rain sounds really great in this game, and I don't really want to lose that. Also, I looked up, and like I usually do before I stream any game, I look at the sounds and the, well, mainly the music, right? For any copyright issues. I'm not I don't get paid to do YouTube videos. But you never know, right? Something might happen one day. Pizza gets lucky and you guys throw a bunch of views on a video. And I don't want to get, like, stuff demonetized, right? I was I was looking up about Stranded Deep, and not only is the music can get you a copyright strike, not always. In fact, the music seems to be generally kind of let go. What they go after are the ambient sounds. So we'd have to turn down all the effects. And what? Like, in particular, people get copyright strikes for the rain sound in this game. Really? Really? Well, yeah, whatever. I mean, we didn't really change anything. All right, and then over here in general, I just turned the tutorial off. I know how to play this game. It's kind of annoying, actually. Uh, it's just something that sits up in the corner of the screen until you finish it, and I don't want to deal with that. I know how to play the game. Controls, nothing. And then we're gonna go jump to Cartographer, and I want to show you a feature about this game that really goes into the customization of this game, right? What you can do. So you can put in a random seed. Now, see that the seed is down there at the bottom. If you guys want to plug that in and give it a go in your own Stranded Deep world, feel free. But I like to make some islands for myself. And so you have, let's see, we'll go to World Editor. So here's a procedurally generated map zone. It'll be what it'll be when it loads in, right? They all have their own little names or whatever. And then if you get up here, you can see I made this one actually today. And you can see it's unapplied because we haven't played the game and made a save yet. So, but it's in there. And same as Seagull Island here, Smuggler's Den, Skipper's Rest, Little Sir, And I've got a few others, I think. Mainly I've done the middle of the map here. Everything but the rock. Anyway, with a few maps of my own plugged in, like I said, I try to get this little middle area to have stuff that you don't always get and that I want to use. So, fair knowledge, right? And let's pop out and I'll show you what I mean. How do we do this without... Oh yeah, we go to World Editor. We just pick something like this. And okay. So we can go to some of the maps I've already made. So we'll go to the one I just made, right? And it'll take us into how you can make your own maps. And I think this is really important, you guys, and you should give it a try, right? And even though it looks pretty big, I tried to make this kind of a smaller island. But you can see you can change the size of your island. You can make it bigger. You can make it the height lower or higher. You can change the shape of your island, right? You can add in the different items that you can find on your island. Trees, rocks, animals. Now, the one thing that isn't common with all the islands that I make, a couple things really, but I get rid of the snakes. I just, look, I don't have a phobia. I don't have a problem with snakes. I think snakes are cool. And pieces growing up in the South, I lived in the Midwest and the Northeast. Anywhere along the East Coast, basically, you're going to have snakes. And definitely out in the Midwest, too. Generally, I've lived where there are venomous and non-venomous snakes, right? But growing up in the South, in the Deep South, where I grew up in Alabama, especially, we had cottonmouth, or also known as the Eastern diamond rattlesnake, and coppermouth. You just kind of get used to that kind of thing. We also have garter snakes, black snakes, rat snakes, whatever you call them. a lot of like I said, plenty of non-venomous snakes where I live, and you know, every year I see them, somewhere, whether I'm out in the woods or they're crossing the road while I'm driving down the road or whatever. You just get used to them. So, like I said, I'm not really scared of snakes, but I think in this game it's not a very good mechanic because one, they're really squirrely, right? They're just all over the screen. And if they just even if you like their little bit of a tail touches you, you're poisoned. Uh, you can add shipwrecks, etc. So stuff we explore. We got 4 on this little island here, and then we can also go in for a little preview. So we've got like a fishing boat. I believe there's a rowboat. And we've added in planks. We've added in yucca. We've added in some rocks and sticks, all that kind of stuff. Uh, yeah, there's a rowboat, and there's a yacht somewhere out here in the ocean. You can actually go underwater, so it's in there somewhere. But like I said, I always try to get rid of the snakes on the islands that I make. Looks like we're getting towards sunset here, and or maybe it's dawn. I always try to add some shade because a lot of these islands, that's what they're lacking. They're lacking any kind of shade in any form. And I also like to put a few rocks and a little bit of clay out in the water because again, I just don't think there's a ton of it, in the game. So anytime I can add a few more bits like that in, I try to do it. All right, we didn't make any changes, so we can just discard that pop out. So there you go. We're going to use this map, this seed. And like I said, it's down there at the bottom of the screen if you want to copy it and play Pizza's map. And then the other thing we're going to do, of course, we're going to turn the animals on passive. Because this game, in particular, kind of like, I mean, I'm not really, again, less morally opposed. But I just think it changes the game completely. And this basically becomes not so much a survival game, but a shark and monster fighting game. I don't want to play a shark and monster fighting game. I wouldn't buy a shark and monster fighting game. It's not the kind of stuff I like to play. Or if I do, I want it to be something different than what this has. And there's a lot of ways to game and cheat and cheese, bosses and the sharks. And I would just end up doing that, you know. I want to survive. I don't want to fight sharks 24/7. So, all right. Now that we got that out of the way, we're going to start a new game. It's going to save. It's going to create a new save over this one. We're on day 15 from whenever the last time I played the game. Not a big deal. All right, so let's start a new game. Boom. Yes. All right. Generally speaking, it doesn't really matter. I usually play a female character. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. In certain games, like Fallout, there's a definite advantage to having a female character. You have the Black Widow perk, which ends up giving you like a 15% more damage to pretty much every character in the game because most of the humans are male. Not all of them. But it basically gives you 50% more damage against the opposite sex. So if you play a female, you're going to get a 15% damage against way more human enemies. And yeah, there's been a big power outage in my townhouse development. So yeah, those guys are going to be popping off here and there in the background. I'm good. I got my Christmas lights on. Everything's good. But obviously, even on Christmas Eve, they were here yesterday, like all day. They're back again this morning. Good for them. It's not even 8 o'clock and they're already here, so I'm happy for that. Hopefully everybody in like the south end of our complex will have a happy Christmas and a warm Christmas and their lights and everything. Glad to see them here early in the morning, honestly. But yeah, we'll have that little bit going in the background. Um, In The Long Dark, I just prefer the female actor's voice over the male actor's voice. And Conan Exiles is just, well, there's reasons for making. We'll leave it at that. I don't really care. We'll go with a female character. Why not? Difficulty's normal. It's fine. Again, because we're going to change this to passive, right? I honestly, I don't know if I make it a harder difficulty if the procedurally generated islands are tougher or not. Let's see. Higher difficulty increases the challenge of survival needs, negative status effects, and skill progression. So you slow down your skill progression the higher you go. There's only two settings, normal and hard. Your negative status effects will last longer and probably be a little worse, like being poisoned or whatever. And I'm not sure what survival needs is, but maybe that again, that's less material. We're just gonna play normal. You know, it's Christmas. Let's have a little fun, right? But yeah, I don't want to fight a bunch of sharks and monsters, so we're gonna put the animals on passive. That means the crabs aren't gonna attack us, the boars aren't gonna attack us, whatever. Not unless that do have snakes. I mean, snakes really aren't aggressive. They just slither around all over the place, and like I said, it's more of a problem of bumping into them. We're still going to have lionfish. We're still going to have poisonous little sea creatures and flora, right? So that'll still be there. But we're mainly here to survive. So I'm going to hit start, and then we're going to do what you do in a lot of video games, survival games, especially older survival games. Like, oh, she put a flower in her hair. That's sick. We're gonna have a plane crash. Let's go. Now, luckily, would be starting, near one of the islands that I've generated, one of the bigger ones anyway. We'll have a lot of good resources. So it's Holidaze in the Sun, right? Little play on a Sex Pistols song. If you don't know who the Sex Pistols are, check them out. Holiday in the Sun is a really great song. But I'll barely roleplay. So loud. Because we're on our way back from a business trip and trying to get home for Christmas, and this happens. To get out of here. Why can't I get out of here? Biggest start ever. And we need to get to the surface so we can get some air and get ourselves to this little rubber raft that we barely get a chance to see. But don't worry, we'll get familiar with it real soon. Now, I feel like a lot of times you start next to a small procedurally generated island. But actually it looks like, honestly, this looks like the island I just made. Alright, so we don't need an anchor. We do want to get into our storage here. We've got some rations, a compass, and a bandage. That's cool. But what we need right here is the paddle. Alright, and then we need to... What do we do? I need to be able to sit down. Well, I think jumping screwed this up, huh? There we go. And then we can... Yeah, this is the island I just made. That's hilarious. Then you can, you paddle yourself to shore. This little rubber raft is pretty wonky. We want to get ourselves here. We want to stop operating. We want to put our paddle back. We're going to hop out, and then let's see if I remember how to grab things. There we go. Pull this up on the shore because we don't want it to float away, right? Wait, interesting. Alright, so we can run, we can grab. So basically day one, we want to gather our supplies. And I don't really want to stay here. I'd rather get to one of the bigger islands. Especially since I know some of the islands that I've built are around here. This is a crazy start, crazy start. Most islands have a couple of pieces of cloth, usually one or two. We're going to grab some sticks. And, alright, how do we craft? Alright, that's my watch. Here we go. So we want to make this stone tool. And how do I get to... There we go. Oh, I think I just quick crafted. Alright. Oh, maybe I should have left the tutorial on, huh? I thought it was... Yeah. I don't want to make another one. Oh, there's a radio menu somewhere. How do I switch to the knife? Well, we're already taking some sun damage. Let's go up in the shade while I try to figure this out. We should be good in here. There we go. Alright. Yeah, we got two of these. That's fine. Haha. Alright. What we want to try to do is get some of these. Whilst we're here, we'll skip the pig. Now, this is poisonous. You step on that, day one, we're already in trouble. Yeah, little piggy. Here we go. We want to get as many of these fiber sleeves as possible. We're going to need a decent amount of rope here to start. Like I said, I just want to try to get as many materials from this island and then move. We'll hop on the raft and get out of here. Because again, we do have a little bit of shade. Man, I don't remember it being so janky. There's another one. But anyway, how you guys doing? Hope you're out there having a great day. Hope you're doing what you want to do. Hope it's going well. Whatever holidays you celebrate, I hope you're enjoying them. Alright, let's get all these rocks, 'cause that's going to be a big thing. Interesting, they're not usually in a big pile like that, but okay. And then the other thing we want is the cloth. That'll be very helpful. We can find that. It's a big pig. I usually find it along the shoreline. Oh yeah, let's grab these planks. Couple of sticks. And I'm not too concerned about food and water yet. There we go. But we're going to need the cloth to make a way for us to get water. So let's get, like I said, focus on the cloth, the rocks in particular. Fun little, ooh, that's cool. Let's go look in here. I would no, not real helpful. But those buoys will come into play later. Alright, keep looking, like I said. Get some of this corrugated scrap. There's a pig in the water. What are you doing, little dude? Nothing in the rowboat. Just because you put a wreck in the game doesn't mean there's going to be any goodies on it. How are we doing? Are we getting... Yeah, we are super hot here. Getting fairly well sunburnt, but I really like to get my hands on this second piece of cloth. Again, that will poison us. Very bad. Very, very bad. I'm not sure about those, but I'm not going to test it, right? Alright, pretty soon we're going to need to go into the shade for a little bit. It's a little cloudy, too. I like to avoid a storm day one. I am not seeing this second piece of cloth. Now, we could go for a little bit of a swim. And technically, you'll see our SPF is going up a little bit. So that's one way to deal with it. Again, I want to try to get out of here as quickly as possible. Try to get my hands on as many goodies as we can get. So mainly I want that cloth, and I'm just not seeing it. Oop. Man, this place is dangerous. Lots of poison. Yeah, I think we've been around the whole deal, and I didn't find it. So that's fine. We got an extra piece of cloth. We got one. Maybe when we come back, we'll find another one. Get lucky. Alright, let's see. Can we make... What do we need to make? A hatchet. We need to get our crafting skill up a little bit. Alright, well, let's make one of these. Alright, and then we can make... Oh, well, we're going to need that at some point. Let's go ahead and make a refined knife. Inventory's full already. Why aren't these stacking? Alright. Sun's getting low in the sky. I don't want to spend too much time here, so let's go get in our raft. I remember what the stupid thing is. Come on. Oh. Alright, harvesting is up. That's good. Really? There we go. Alright. Thinking maybe over there or over there. Let's try that one. Where's my boat going? Listen, pig. Alright. Back in here. We're gonna have to. Alright. So open this. I just don't have any room. How do you drop stuff? What can we drop? Yeah, we'll lose the rope. There we go. Get the paddle. It's getting nighttime already. I'm right on the shipwreck. Oh, this is going so poorly already. I think we're gonna have to... drag this over here and out of ways. It's pretty shallow right here too. I feel like there should be an easier way to get in this. Let's get it out away from the shore here a little bit. At least we're not getting sunburnt. And try to go to one of these bigger islands. Hopefully this is the direction I want to go in. It's a bigger island. It'll be our first island. Now, basically, you kind of want to. The best way to play this game is to sleep like every other night. I'm not too worried about that. I do want to get. We need water source. Food shouldn't be too much of an issue. There's a lot of fish. We are gonna need to like get an axe and try to chop down some trees. Water's a little rough. Not a storm though, so it should be okay. Moon's out, we can kind of see, so let's just get over to the island. We still got a ways to go. It looks like it's getting closer. Usually there's a big lag spike like when you're about halfway there. We haven't hit that yet. But if we want to save, we got to build a shelter. We might end up building more than one because... Oh, there it is. Cool. Alright, so yeah, we're definitely getting closer now. What I try to do is try to set up my home at least in an area of shade. So we either have shade through most of the morning or through most of the evening. This thing is awful to navigate. Now this looks like an island I built. It might not be. But hopefully it is, because if I built it, there's no snakes. I kind of wish there was a cargo ship around. Yeah, it's one off behind it, so we might be set. Now, like most games, I wish there was more customization. I wish there were some sliders, some things I could change to keep the game a little more interesting. Just reduce the amount of sharks. See if we can get right up here on the beach, because since we can't see what's in the water. You don't want to get poisoned right away. Oh, so my rope went flying out. Let's put the paddle away. Please. It's a little janky, what can I say? Oh, I don't want to operate. There we go. Here, let's pull it a little further in. Alright, let's go into the storage. Let's take out this bandage for now. And we'll drop that, and then we'll put something in here. Oh. Planks. I really don't need planks right now. We'll toss those in there. And then, we'll get the compass out of here. And we'll drop that too. There we go. A bit more room. And then let's throw in this. There we go. Alright, we got a little room. Alright, we need to, I think, first of all, I think we just need to try to chop down. Alright, what can we build? Let's see if we can find that piece of rope that flew out. That would be helpful. Only problem is I think it bounced all the way into the water. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Alright, let's make a refined knife. There we go. And we're going to drop this for now. Go with this bad boy. Grab some more of these. Again, we're going to need more rope, sticks, that kind of stuff. I think we'll settle for like a fire on the beach for tonight. Let's work towards that. Rock. How are we doing? Alright, one more stick. There we go. Alright, so let's think about making a fire. Oh, can't make one yet. We can make kindling though, so let's craft that. We just need to get our crafting skill up. Oh, here we go. Campfire, perfect. Alright, craft that. Let's build it right here. There's a lot of rocks. That'll come in handy. There we go, crab mission up. So we make a fire pit. I think we'll save that. There we go, crew decks. We need 2 of the little thingies that you left on the beach and some more rope. So let's go. Right, how do we quick craft? There we go. You know, one of these, and then what's up, buddy? Let's see if we can find that one I dropped up over here. There we go. All right, pick that up, and then see, can I quick craft it? Yes. Whew. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. How are we doing on water's getting pretty low? Yeah, I figured. All right. So let's switch the axe. take down the closest palm tree. Boom, there we go. We're gonna smack this coconut, and then we're going to get a drink of water, and just drop it right now. Oh, but we need these things right here. I know we do. Yeah, I think you can get a stack of 5 of those. And let's see, can we make... No, we need to advance this a little bit. I guess we'll go ahead and make the full fire pit, why not? We got a decent amount of rocks, so... Alright, and then we need... Did I make kindling yet? I think I did. Yeah, I'll grab that. Nope. This. There we go. We have fire! Drop that. Still not enough skill in crafting, I don't think, to make the water purifier. What else can we make? Usually you just end up making a bunch of rope to kind of early game to get your stuff going here. We can make a spear, I suppose. I'd rather skip the fire spit. I mean, I guess we should make a shelter for tonight. I think I'll put it up here by these rocks. And we may end up having to take it back down. But in this general region, there will be shade at least for part of the day. So we'll stick it right here for now. You can sleep and save. What's our toolbar looking like? Not too bad. Let's do the thing. Yeah, let's make a spear. Oh, I need a few more sticks, huh? I don't know why these aren't stacking. Anyway, let's get a spear going. Let's see. Again, I don't want to get poisoned. There we go, that's what I want right there. Alright, we got a crab. There should be a way for me to put this in my inventory. There we go. Now, if we really need food, I mean water, we can eat one of the rations. Because I think water is going to be my biggest concern. For tonight. Looks like there's a coconut up there. Well, you need the coconut too. You just got to be careful. You don't want to eat more than 2 servings of coconut at a time. Let's see. Let's put these crabs on. When do we drop here? Yeah, we'll drop this guy. I really thought I picked up more. Alright, and then I'll crack that up and then eat that. And then we should be able to put these on the fire. Why can't I put these on the fire? I'm confused. I don't understand. I know you can cook on these things. I don't think that's going to work. Oh, you got to clean it. That's right. Here. I think we got to switch to the knife. There we go. Alright, yeah. We should be able to eat here real soon. Get a little food in their belly. Oh, come on. Pizza. Ugh. Right. I guess one at a time. I really thought you could cook more on if you put the rocks down. Eh. Anyway, if you want cooking skill, you got to stand by the fire. So we're gonna hang out here and watch the sunrise a little bit. Hectic start. Maybe I should have left the tutorial on. Yeah. Alright. Thirst, bit of a problem. Let's see if we can get another coconut. There we go. No. We'll need these logs at some point. Get a little more coconut water. Our food's ready. We'll eat that. Get that going. All right. Yeah. We're cooking with gas now. All right. Can I make a water thing yet? No. I need to make a few more things. And shelter, campfire, and a fire pit. Really don't need a hammer right now. There it goes. Alright. Really got to get on top of this water. Cooking went up. What do we need? We need rope, palm frond, and is that a coconut? It is not. Oh, I bet it's where is it? Where is... Oh, we need to switch to... this. Alright, so we need coconut flask. We need coconut... we haven't had a drink from it, I suppose. It's more rope. Yes. So we need another coconut. There. There's one. I swear I saw a coconut. Okay. And can we quick craft that? Okay, I'm not sure why my inventory thinks it's full, but it does. Alright, pick that up. For the water still, need a palm frond and a lashing. So let's make another lashing. That. That. Oh, I should really see where the sun is. It's already heading towards noon. This is pretty shady over here. This, not so much. This side too. Oh yeah, we might end up moving this. Good enough for today though. How are we doing on SPF? SPF is fine. It doesn't really get bad until like a bit later in the afternoon. I guess we're fine for now. My fire's going for like no reason. Let's grab this because that's ready. Alright, can we build the water stove? Yes. Let's get that going. Chuck that there. Eat that. Cook this. Plenty of stuff we need. But right now, honestly, just a couple of sticks to keep the fire going. There we go. Grab that. We got yucca, we got all kinds of goodies here. There we go. Grab use and use. We'll add to the fire. Here. Just gonna hang out here for a minute, get a little bit of cooking score. Listen to the sounds of the seagulls. Ooh, don't want to get burned. Now for the water still, we're going to want to add a couple of these for now. Alright. We've already got a little bit of water, so let's grab a drink. Alright. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. Alright. Food's looking pretty good. Liquid's a little rough, but we're making water now. Let's go ahead and turn this off for now. Not too shabby. Alright, I'm going to take a quick break and be right back. Lesson 2. I just realized I left myself standing in the sun. Ooh. Alright, let's get some shade. Should be going up. Yeah. Alright. I heard some more water drop. That's good. Whew! the starting point of any of these games is always exciting, isn't it? Food, water, shelter. Boom. Gotta get those. Alright, boat's over there. I think that's where we came from, yeah. So we're going to leave the boat here. So I know that that's like the island that I came from. A lot of times what people do is they'll build their shelters on a beach. I try to get mine in the shade if possible. Alright, what time is it? So in the afternoon, our spot's in a pretty good place. In the mornings, not so great, but we can use the other side of that rock, or even this rock in the morning, I suppose. But we definitely want to be careful limiting our exposure to the sun. And that's why, like I said, I like to do some custom islands, because shade is often not something you get a lot of. There's a few islands, but they don't necessarily have the other ingredients or in a location that are really particularly helpful. To exploration. That's like 3 in the afternoon. We're going to be getting a good bit of sun until about 5 or 6, I think. Yeah, we'll just hang out a little bit. Then we're going to look for more cloth and materials. So we need cloth to give ourselves like a quick bar for this. And that will give me more space in my inventory. But I also need more cloth for to make a smoker. It's really the best way to go for the food. It just makes the food last a lot longer. So if you want to cook off stuff to have laying around, it's a pretty good spot. That's a pretty big island over there. That's probably where I should be. For like a more permanent base. How are we doing? Alright, we're good on SPF. Sun's going down a little bit. Let's explore our island of Skosh. Got a few more crabby boys. Yeah, let's try to see if we can get our hands on more cloth. That's really what I need. I was hoping to get the 2 pieces over at the other island. I think 2 pieces is the most you can get. I don't really need that right now, so we'll leave it. Yep. Those are going to come in handy. Also, I think there's a way now to stack stuff on the ground. Sun's going down. We should be okay on SPF. Yeah, we're fine. What time is it? 1600 hours? Is that like 5 o'clock? Yeah. Let's focus on trying to find some cloth. We do have a crate here. That's good. We'll come back to that later. I mean, I could have screwed up and maybe made an island that doesn't have cloth, but I kind of doubt it. Occasionally it is in the water. So maybe I did that by mistake. I don't see any cloth in this island. Great. Got to get the stamina up a little bit. Is it like under here maybe? No. I mean, I've looked. I feel like everywhere there should be cloth. And not having any luck. It's getting dark. So, alright. Where did... we can make cloth. I think you need cloth to make cloth. We've at least got more water coming our way. Alright. How do you make stacks? That's what I want to know. Maybe you gotta drop one. Anyway, I got some rocks. I'll figure it out. I'm really... There we go. I don't know if I just didn't look out here, or... Maybe if I'm remembering right, sometimes it takes a little while for things to load in. Whatever. We'll take this piece of cloth. All right. pizza need to make a smoker? Can I make a smoker yet? Yes, we can. We need rope, sticks, and cloth. Let's get that going. Let's get some sticks going. Whatever. Here. Okay. This stuff is like gold. I try to use as much of this stuff on the ground, and eventually it will grow that. But eventually you will also harvest the yucca trees. But yeah, I want to build a smoker. Every island should have a save point. Oh, what time is it? Yeah. A water purifier and, in my mind, a smoker. Here we go. How do we rotate it? Like right there. Perfect. Also, smoking your meat is a lot better for your cooking score as well. Come here. Let's try to grab as many crabs as we can get. I was hoping to see if I can find that other piece of cloth. There we go. Come here. Let's get all the early game points we can get. Alright, we're going to go, and because you can put also multiple pieces on this smoker. I think 5 maybe? This. Actually, no. Let's skin everything first, right? That makes more sense. I don't know why they're always so grossed out about crabs and fish and stuff, but personally, pizza would be just fine. And eating tons of seafood. I'll give us some meat. Let's get the fire going. Drop that. And woo! The higher the cooking score, the faster we cook stuff, and the longer it lasts. So, basically, once you get a smoker, and you're cooking up to a few levels, You can leave stuff laying around for a good bit of time. We are going to need to get some sleep tonight. I generally try to go to sleep around midnight, but we need to get this meat cooked. So whenever the meat's cooked, we'll eat, drink, and go to sleep. For our three main issues, food, water, and shelter are taken care of. And because the island has shade, we can also deal with SPF. So there's our main issues right there. Let's see. Cooking score went up again. You see, we're cooking 5 things at once. It's going bing, bing, bing. So my points are going up that much faster. And then when you're smoking, you got to wait for another round to go. We got cooking level 3, harvesting 3, hunting 2. Our strength is pretty low, but we have once we start swimming, that'll go up a lot quicker. And then we also have our crafting skill, which is like 2 1/4 or something like that. We're doing okay. Well, these coconuts that I've had water from are kind of useless, so we can also start eating those. For a bit of food. I mean, you don't want to eat more than 2. You don't want to get the poops. Kind of supplement our food. That way, whatever's smoked, we can leave kind of laying on the ground, and we have a little food for tomorrow. So that means all my smoked meat is ready to go. Now, you can burn your food. You want to try to avoid that. Put that out. Grab some water. And we've got water and food ready to go for the morning. We need to go to sleep. Things start to get a little bad. Nice. Right, another thing, ooh, a little laggy. Another thing we can do is get a save real quick. All right. So 7 in the morning, not too bad. Palm fronds don't have a ton of uses. So I usually use mostly for making water. I think we're going to try to kill this pig. Now usually this guy will try to kill you. They need a refined knife to clean this. We're going to get some leather. Leather's going to come into play here in a little while. But if we kill him, eventually he'll respawn. But we'll also get 4 fat, I think, large steaks. And we get 2. That's a lot of food, and we can smoke it, so not too sad about that. We can chase down one of these little pigs. They're a little harder to kill, though. Generally, it's easier if you can get them stuck somewhere. You can throw spears too, but honestly, it's only really good for the first shot. Yeah. See, if we can get him stuck in this water. Best case scenario. I lost him. But we can start grabbing fish too. Now you can get him with the spear, but I think it's better to get like a fish hook. Yeah, we might do that. Yeah, we're drowning. All right. Let's see. I just want to get some meat going. I'm really a bit concerned about food. Let's see. Let's drop the leather on the ground over here. Alright. There we go. And then some more rocks for the rock pile. There we go. Let's have a little bit of a snack here. Drop those pieces. Yeah, why does it keep splitting up my inventory? That's kind of freaking me out. That could be a real problem in this game. You want to keep your inventory as tight as possible. Right. I think I'm going to run the shoreline again, try to see if I can find this other piece of cloth. I think we'll make a fishing spear. And because we slept, we can stay up tonight. Here, let's grab these sticks for sure. Go ahead and take down these yucca trees. That way they can respawn. I think you get 6, so we're missing. There it is. 1. Okay. Gotta watch out for those purple guys. I'm telling you, though. There it is. Good. Alright. Yeah, the most cloth you can get on each island is 2 pieces. Keep grabbing those. He's on the run. Alright, we can find a big crab. Just I think that's medium-sized meat. There we go. And we want to look for the fruit. See the yucca fruit? That means we can grow more yucca trees eventually. Yucca, yucca, I don't care. You say yucca, I say yucca. Tomato, tomato, potato, potato. But yeah, I'd rather just go ahead and chop those up and then so they can start to respawn. And eventually we're going to want to make a raft. And we're going to need a lot of rope. Logs, and then we'll get some coconuts, and then we'll also be able to get some these palm fronds. SPF is a little rough. Alright, so let's do a little bit of fun here. What's our inventory like? Yeah, great. Tell you what. Let's get some cooking done. Nope. Yep. Let's get these big steaks on here. Nice. Good bit of calories there. I was going to say, it's probably time for a drink. Good. Let's chop this up. Go. Now we got more water on the way. Need those in my inventory. Right, so we're gonna hang out here again. Man, I really want to get over to that island right there. The more cooking score we can get early on, the better. So kind of hanging out by the fire is a really good way to go. The only problem is our fire's out here in the sunlight. Let's see if we can make a fishing spear. Yeah, alright. Craft that. Let's put the cloth on the ground. And some of these sticks. There we go. I'm not exactly sure how close you need to be to the fire, but we're going to stay pretty close for a little bit. Basically, when my SPF is about to run out, I'm about to go to the heat stroke, we're going to go swimming and catch some more fish. Or catch our first fish, really. Now these are bigger pieces of meat, so it will take a little while longer to cook. Let's go do a little bit of spearfishing. Now, the more swimming we do and running and whatever, we want these archer fish. They're medium-sized meat. There's one there. Flounder also gives you medium-sized meat. You get 2 pieces. There we go. We'll start grabbing a couple of the smaller ones. Alright. So I can get these cooked up and smoked up. We should have like a day or two's worth of meat already on this. Alright. Let's drop these on the ground, clean them up. Quick little trick, right? If I don't clean these, they'll last forever, right? But once you clean them, the timer starts to go down. So we'll attach those on. So this meat's the meat is starting to cook. We want to get it to the smoked level. Bit more wood on there, and then really I just kind of need to hang out and cook today. I want to make my life a little easier. and try to get my cooking score up. So can't really do much but chill for a minute. Let's see, what should we start thinking about making next? We could go for a refined axe. To make the leather strips, though, we gotta advance our crafting. I wouldn't mind getting a loom together. That way I can make my own cloth. Maybe we'll think about that today. I need rope and sticks. So there we've got some smoked medium meat. Let's go ahead and clean up a couple more archer fish. And remember, the more advanced our cooking skill is, the longer this all lasts. I'm gonna get burned. There we go. Beautiful day in Stranded Dark. I think it's a really pretty game, by the way. That's what I'm talking about. Whenever you can get them trapped, it's the best. Maybe get a little bit of leather.
Oh, it's disgusting.
And now you can respawn at some point. Moon's coming up. Well, like I said, those large pieces of meat take quite some time. I don't think I'm going to plant anything here. Again, we've got a good island for a starter base, but not our real, actual, full-on base. But yeah, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Amazing. Like the embers coming off the fire. Again, I don't know how close you have to be to the meat smoker or any of the cooking devices. I feel like if you're in range of hearing the sizzle, you're good, you know? So I try not to go past that. Beautiful night. Like I said, look at those embers going up in the sky. There we go. Right, I think that's our large meat. Should be cooked or smoked anyway. Let's grab those. Now we're getting some food. Now we're getting some food. Let's throw these on. Like I said, that should get me through a day or two, you know? Where did I throw that leather? Here we go. Cooked, cooked, cooked. Good, good, good. Yeah. I really try to get that cooking score up pretty quick. Super helpful. So we're already at 4. I think, what is it, 6 or 7 is the total amount you can get, so. Our food should be lasting pretty long. Oh, the bats are here. You can hit them with a spear or shoot them with a bow. If you want. I don't think I ever really make a bow. Grab this. And then we'll just let the rest of this cook out. We'll probably call it good. Again, we don't need to sleep tonight because we slept the night before. And we got a decent little pile of fish here. Well, I guess we could cook up a couple of these small pieces. Actually, what we can do is we can attach one here. Show a little trick. And then you can cook one piece down here regularly, right? And then kind of switch things out. So once this is cooked, we can take that off. We'll have cooked meat, and then we can put it on here and we can smoke it. Or eat it. Just depends on where your levels are.
Disgusting.
And that's how that works. I think we'll save this fish for my next cook. And again, once we get our cooking score up, we don't really have to hang around the fire as much. Obviously, I still going to do it on occasion to try to get that cooking score like all the way up. The sooner the better. I think cooking skill is probably, cooking and crafting are probably your two skills. You want to get up as quickly as possible. Harvesting and hunting, they just kind of happen naturally, right? we're going to be able to eat for several days. So we won't really have to cook or hunt or anything. Yeah, I think we're going to work on... Let's see. Let's go ahead and start doing that. Do I have any rope? No. Right. So let's make 4 lashings. Oh, we can quit. 3. Oh, alright. So there's the pile. Alright, good. Something you gotta craft, apparently. These are ready. And then we're just waiting on these little bits right here. Alright. The loom. What else do we need? We need 6 sticks. Okay, we've got how many here? Again, I don't know why it's making these multiples. Let's make a loom. Grab that. And we keep that on this. Put this out. Cloth is really important, so. There we go. Now we can make our own cloth. Perfect. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to take a quick break. Be back in less than 2. Back to life. Back to reality. As always. Well, all right. What should I do? Like we'll gather up the planks and the metal. Because eventually we're going to want to build a boat. And these things will come in handy. Yeah, I'm not really sure it's not... I don't understand why it's not stacking this stuff. It's making me nuts. I'll chuck those there. Those bubbles out there, that's a shipwreck, so... Let's get the rest of this stuff. I guess the trick is not to have one of those things in your hand. You are running all over the place, little piggy. Nothing out here, doesn't look like. I tell you, I'm 100% for Stranded Deep 2. I think there's a lot of room for customization, expansion of the map, and just adding some new mechanics in. One thing I think would be super interesting, personally, if they added in like plastics. You know, plastic bottles, plastic. Being able to maybe craft with plastics. Glass, you know, glass and plastic float around the ocean for a long time. They end up on a lot of beaches, so I feel like there's a way to incorporate that for sure. Alright. Not doing too poorly. Sun's coming up soon. Again, eventually we're going to need to chop down a decent amount of these trees, so let's go ahead and take a couple down. We'll try to get our harvesting up a little bit. Let's see. They do provide shade, so that's one thing you got to think about. Alright. Can I make a refined axe yet? Yeah. Alright, so we need an axe, some rope, and like a blade. How many do I actually need? One of each. Okay. Alright, I'll quick craft that. Interesting. It is so dark. Two stones or one? Can I make a rock pile? How do you make a rock pile? There we go. I'm learning. There. There we go. That makes me happy. Alright. Well, let's see. Let's go ahead and get a better axe. I'm tired of playing around with this. What do we need? Oh, I need leather strips. So I think we can use the loom to do that. Right. Why can't I use this thing? How do you make leather strips? Oh, I don't. I'm not skilled enough. Well, we could make a hoe. What is it? Oh, interesting. Alright, hold on. Hold on. I didn't make the... Yes. Okay. Right, refined axe is leather strips. Yes. Yes. There we go. Alright. I thought I needed this to make that. Maybe not. Leather strips. Yeah, one of these, one of these. I'm wondering if I built it in like a weird place. Why can't I use this? Oh, you know what? I bet I need to be looking at it. There we go. No, it still says it's not working. Why not? I need a tanning rack. Oh, man. Can I make a tanning rack? Again. Nice. Alright. What do I need? 4 of those and 4 of those. Okay. So, tanning rack coming up. Gosh. It's getting complicated already. Right. 1, 2, 3. Alright, let's go hunting for some more of these guys. It's really, I mean, generally speaking, I try to get to a good island and start farming as quickly as possible. And one of the things I try to plant first are the yucca. Let's run around in the sunshine a little bit. See if we can just find some laying around. Again, the more we pick up in one run, like when it respawns, we'll get a bunch at the same time, so. Yeah. Let's try to pick up as much as possible today. Maybe we have enough to do what I need to do. Just thought I'd look around for a little extra. Yeah, we pretty much cleaned it up. Kind of waiting on the old respawn, I suppose. Alright. So let's do that. And then we need, what, 4 sticks, I think? I need a couple more sticks. Alright, let's see if we can make a tanning rack. There we go. Boom. Put that there. Grab this and this. We need to do this here. There we go. Craft that. Am I crazy? Guess I'm crazy. Alright, now we got a refined axe and a refined knife. I haven't really been paying attention. I don't think I have any, like, rock piles on this island, though. We had a couple on the other island. So pick isn't going to help me here. Yeah. Alright, that's fine. So, let's have a little fun. And we're going to talk about these crates over here. And so what we want to do, we want to pick it up. But we don't want to look in it just yet, right? I'm just going to show you, I mean, is it a cheat? I guess. But is it? Alright, let's go to the shade. I mean, I usually try to do it. Yeah. Alright, so we'll drop this. Right. So we got this here. We haven't looked at it yet. Let's get a quick save. Right. Ooh. And now we can look at it. Some binoculars. Gyrocopter part, sure. Duct tape is pretty handy. And a jerry can. I am not opposed to any of these things, right? These are all good things. I'd rather have, like, scrap, like the corrugated sheet metal, or some planks. But the jerry can is pretty helpful. But I'm going to show you a little cheat. Alright, so we're going to quit. reload, and when we get back in, that crate should have different stuff inside. Day 3. Feels like so much longer. It's not, but it feels like it. So we'll have a look, and you can see we got different stuff. Kind of crappy. Now, the beans are pretty good. They're a good food source. We got an electrical part, which is good. We can make an engine for a boat if we wanted to. But not great, right? So if you want, once again, main menu. Yes. Honestly, that first box is pretty good. I wish I'd kept that stuff. The other thing that would be nice would be some lights or like a flashlight. Leather, spyglass. The only really good thing I see right now is the leather. Boop out, hit start, main menu. Yes. So basically, you can kind of rig these. Now, if you have like a cargo shipwreck, you may get like 5 to 10 of these, and you can re-roll them all, right? So maybe you find 2 out of 5 that are really good, but the other 3 are crap. Well, you take the items out of the 2, make a save. But you got to be careful because if you look at all 5, you're committed, right? So let's say the first one I open is junk, but the second one I open is really great, right? You should probably save. Sure, you get one crate that's not really full of very good items. However, right, that second crate is worth keeping, and you still have 3 others to kind of think about. They could be great stuff in the other 3, though. So it's still a gamble. Oh, now this is what I'm talking about. Planks, cloth, leather, and corrugated scrap. I want to keep this 100%, right? Also, we can use the crate for storage. Right. So we'll run this down to our little beachhead over here. And drop that for now. And if you want to keep everything in this crate, because we already looked at it, just come up here and make a save. Right. Now we can pick this up. Put that in there. We can put all these planks in here. Like so. And then even if we wanted to get rid of some of this corrugated metal, we'll grab 3 of these. And there you go. Same thing if I wanted to make some extra leather strips. Alright, how are we doing? We should be pretty hungry and thirsty. Let's eat a couple of these. Get a couple of sips. Yeah, we're pretty thirsty. All right. And then I thought, is it in my inventory? It might be in my inventory. Yeah. Nice. SPF isn't too great. We've been hanging out in the sun for a bit. Now, if you set your shade up right, you can still do work. Right? And still get our SPF up. So try to think about that when you're looking for your islands. Always look for shade. If you go in base game, there are islands that have these pine trees, different areas where there's good shade. So I just try to recommend setting up your main base in an area where, like, where the sun's going to be the worst for most of the day. You kind of want to try to set up your base there if possible. Logs are going to come in handy at some point. Alright. So I think my crafting went up, didn't it? Eventually we're going to want to make a plank thing. Let's see, yeah, we can get the pick now. What's it called? Plank station. We want to get that made. It takes a refined axe, right? But if you get a refined axe and you make this, as long as at a certain point, you kind of, like, let's say, so we're gonna make this, then we make another refined axe, right? And right before our refined axe is about to bust, what we do is we break down the plank station, rebuild it, use the busted axe. And when we break down the plank station, we'll get the refined axe back, right? And then the one that we have that is crap, we'll use to make a new plank station. So we're good there. The pick is really kind of where we want to go next. I would say a good bird snare early game can be super helpful. And so you see seagulls over here, we could pretty much put a bird snare over there, and like every day we catch like 1 to 2 birds. Good amount of meat we can get from that. I don't really see much use in the fish trap. All right, so let's start working on our tool belt, because we can make cloth now. Yeah. Because we have the loom. Where's pizza? Really? How am I so turned around on this tiny little island? Jeez. Yeah, let's start working on our tool belt. We need another lashing. Okay. And then what we can do is assign something to a slot. We want to assign something here. And, oh, we got to unequip the axe. There we go. Yep, there we go. Alright, so now I can just hit the up on the, whatever they're called, the left side of my controller. And what's great about that is it takes it out of my inventory, right? The sooner we can get those, the better. If we can make another lashing, which I think we can do. Well, we need a bit more rope goodies. We're kind of waiting for the island to respawn some stuff. But because we're good on food and water, it's not that big a deal. You got a coconut? You do. Alright, let's chop this down. Where'd my coconut go? Game physics, it rolled down the hill somewhere. Right? There it is. We'll pick that up. Get a bit of cheeky water. Yeah, we gotta get over there. Go, nice bit of logs. A pippy or peepee plant. I think it's actually called a peepee plant. Which is, it sounds funny to Americans, but you know. We're the ones that call piss pee. Most everybody else calls it piss, let's just be honest. I don't even think it's a dirty word. Or a curse word. Piss is not a curse word. Alright. Good to go. And then food and water. Yep. I'll grab a couple sips. We don't really even need to eat right now. Drop a couple of those bad boys. Right? And if we want, we can drink that coconut water. But I think we'll save it for something else. Not a lot of rain on this island. And I feel like there is kind of like a rainy season and a dry season in this game. Not quite as harsh as Green Hell. But I also think different islands produce different weather. So, yeah, you might be on an island that seems to get a lot of rain. You might be on an island that just doesn't get a ton. We're not getting a ton here. We haven't had any rain, in fact, since we started. But we're only really like 4 days in, so 4 or 5. Still kind of early. So can you make a coconut pile? That's what I want to know. Maybe. Alright, so this is spoiled. We don't want to eat this. I usually try to check them in the water somewhere, so I don't accidentally pick them up. Perfect. All right. Yeah. Not the best island, but it'll work. Nice. Mm. I can just do this. Our harvesting is definitely picking up. Although I think I smacked it maybe once already. We can just put those in there. Look at that. Look at that. Making piles on the ground easier is really just a great thing. Right. Grab another drink of water. Grab 3 of those. Refill our doohickey here. Alright. And I think we'll catch a nap. Yeah, you gotta sleep tonight. I just try to go to bed so I don't wake up too early. We're gonna wake up pretty early in the morning. It's still dark, not quite 6 o'clock, but the sun will be coming up here in a minute. Let's get a quick save as well. There we go. And I think today, maybe we'll do a little bit of fishing. And I want to explore these shipwrecks. So that's where we came from. I think that's the island I want to make my main base. But yeah, let's let the sun come up a bit more. I would like to build at least a small raft. It doesn't have to be a good one. Maybe just like 4 squares. You can make one out of 1. That might be decent over there in the distance as well. But that looks like a pizza island right there. I feel like it's going to be pretty dark and murky. accidentally get poisoned. You gotta watch out for lionfish, especially if you go a bit deeper. Let's see what it looks like. Not great, but not terrible either. Why aren't there 17 sharks attacking me? Because that's dumb. Alright, oh, you're gonna be pretty... Okay, so yeah, so remember, pick it up. Don't look in it if you want to play the game. Right, shoot back up and get some air. I think on this wreck in particular, there's 2 ways to get in. Yeah, we want to try to hit from both directions. Oh, stingray. I'll avoid that as well. Yeesh. You know, sometimes there's cabinets you can open. Mainly, we're just looking for these crates. Here we go. You can do the same thing here, where if you don't find anything particularly good... Oh, we're drowning. 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 Okay. Whew. You can explore, you can save, explore, and then come back and look again. Alright. Yeah. I think that one crate is going to be what we got from this one. Let's see if we can get a couple archer fish. Go. We got our physicality up a little bit. You can hunt sea turtles, but it's not like you can use their shells or anything. Mostly concerned about poison in here. Just keeping an eye out. A good spot to get on land. Alright. Four days survived, y'all. I'd say we're thriving. Not just surviving. We'll dump that. Dump that. And dump that. So again, if you want, completely up to you. We'll get that save and then we'll peek in this crate. Alright, so rope, hammer, and planks, and a vehicle engine part. All good things. I'm happy for all this, especially the refined hammer. So to build a shelter, and some of these other things, we're going to need a refined hammer. I don't really consider them an uncommon drop. But we're going to go ahead and save. Pick this up. And not only can we use these as storage here, right? But we can also use it for storage on the boats we eventually build. We'll eat these small meats. Grab a couple drinks, and then yeah, we want to check out these bubbles over here. We could look for clay, but I don't really need clay right now. I'll take that archery fish, and then let's go look down in this wreck. There we go. The crate. Sometimes you can find barrels you can use, but these aren't those. Let's try to get a nice stash of fish before we think about heading out. I'm playing kind of loose. We got to be careful of those lionfish. There we go, another crate. Pick that up. Oh, we might get some rain. Kind of feels rainy. Oh, coral snakes. You gotta watch out for those guys too. Poison is like... Oh, and a lionfish. And it's raining. Let's get out of here. Yeah. Nice. So if we were farming, this would be great. Our first rain. It would water our crops for us. Not a good day to be out on the ocean. I told you that lightning would be loud. We can, because we have the smoker set up, we can still have a fire though, which is good. We got a lot of fish. That in there. All right. And then we'll play a little game. Oh, the yuca's back. Perfect. That is super good. Okay, so this up here. Tell you what, let's harvest this. let's make one of these. Let's grab that piece of cloth I just threw in a chest. Oh, look, yeah, see, all this is back. You can't get hit by lightning, which is fabulous. Now remember, we can make cloth with these fiber sleeves. And we're going to go ahead and make our second quick slot. Gotta get that out of my hand. There we go. So now I can use this to quickly switch between these. And if we go to our wheel, why is that still there? That's in my way, I suppose. We've lost the axe and the refined knife. Oh yeah, good time to get a drink of water too, because this will refill with the rain. So try to get a good amount of water in your bods. I said no. It's just going to float back up here. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Alright. And again, the smart move is to just try to get all this collected up. When it comes back, and that way when it respawns basically the same way. So you have like one harvesting day instead of, just trying to keep picking this stuff over the next couple of days. So let me actually do the thing that I am trying to explain to you guys as being a good thing to do. Well, you could do the same thing with hunting. So your animals respawn basically around the same time. Yeah, let's try to get it at, like I said, let's get these fiber sleeves going here. Don't have a ton on this island, but like I said, I wanted to give it like a somewhat better than the base game, but not always. Don't necessarily need to be too OP. We're surviving. Eventually, hopefully, we're thriving, but we don't need to make it like crazy. All right. Let's get the quick save. And now we have 2 crates to contend with, right? Which one? Left, right. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, diez. Ooh, 2 lanterns and a flashlight. Okay. And a fuel part. This box I want to keep 100%. So we'll run over here and get the save. Yes, yes. And then we'll open this box. So this box is locked now, right? This one isn't. A flashlight, a bunch of engine parts, and a flare gun. Bleh. Don't care about that. So let's demonstrate. Yes, yes. Go to the old main menu. Continue our playthrough. Now the first thing I would do if I was this lady is fix my shoes. I'd probably just quit wearing them. Dangerous at first. You just got to be careful where you walk. You don't want to get a lot of cuts and scrapes. You know, you don't really have a way to fight infection. But the sooner... Right, so we got rope, flashlight, but this should still be the same. There we go. 2 lanterns and a flashlight. So, right. This one, the only good thing, I mean, the spyglass isn't going to be helpful till later. The battery is pretty key. We already got a flashlight. They only last for so long. What would pizza do? Get that tattoo. I dares you. We go back to the main menu. Roll it again. But having the 4 crates to, it's going to be great. It's going to be really great. Especially for traveling. Alright. Let's see what we got this time. Alright. Pretty good stuff. More steel or scrap. We can keep the spyglasses, another set of rations. Rations are amazing. They give you a huge amount of food and water. If you really end up in an issue, not bad. I would like a few more building materials, but I think this is worth it. All right. So let's grab the lanterns. Right. And then basically all you need to do is drop it, and then there we go. Drop it, and then turn it on. Look, we got light, right? And then basically, I guess they're like solar, but I think at night they'll just automatically turn on. Right? So if you want some light in certain areas, these are great. We can make a path. You know, we can light up the area where we do our work in. I think dropping one right here is probably a good idea. Yeah. Right. And so that'll help us see at night. Let's see, maybe right in here. There we go. Yes. I don't really think it matters whether you turn them on or off or whatever. I think they'll just start working at night. Alright. So, we checked out most of the wrecks around here. I think all of them. We need a ton more rope, honestly. Decent amount of wood on this island still, so... But we really don't have enough leaves for a raft. Maybe we can make a basic raft, but yeah. Bit sparse for what we need. I think we need to get over there. Look at our little moonlit beach here. Isn't that pretty? So you see how the lights are on? They just turn on at night, and they'll turn off by themselves in the daytime. And this one's on over here. It definitely helps us see. In our areas at night. That's why I really like those. You can put them on a pole and get a little better light distribution. I don't know if we can make those yet or not. Yeah, so we can make a light hook and stick them on there. This is going to be great for our boat. Let's start thinking about our boat here. So we're basically only really going to be able to make our basic wood wrapped base, right? For now. When we start crafting those, we'll probably get enough crafting score to start putting down like the floorboards and whatever. Then we can put shelves, and then we can put those crates on those shelves, and we can have storage for traveling. A lot of times for my rafts, I'd rather use buoys, tires, and barrels. But we just don't have a lot of that here on this island, so we might make a basic little raft. But we're going to need a decent amount of cloth and rope. We don't have a ton here, so we may need to just take the rubber raft, go looting, and bring some goods back to this island. Even may need to loot the main island where I want to hang out. Here's what we're going to do. What time is it? Still pretty early. Alright, let's make a stick pile. We're sticking over here. We're sticking everything else. Beach got a lot smaller very quickly. Oh, we need one of these in our hand. There we go. Alright. Yeah, we're gonna need a pile of sticks. Let's chop down all the little trees. Okay. And it's interesting, once you start clearing out stuff from the island, I think you'll be surprised at how many items you can actually find. A little bit later would be great. Well, here's a pine tree. Alright. I'm just curious how big I can make this stick bow. Pretty big. Nice. Looks like 34 sticks. Not too bad. Not too bad. Got some planks. We got the corrugated steel. Alright, we're doing good. We're doing real well. Alright. Gonna go to sleep. Don't really need to, but we're gonna go to sleep. I guess we're gonna save first. Because I hit the wrong button. Oh. Beautiful. Yeah, I think sleep, like going to sleep between like 1 and 2 is probably going to be my preferred way of doing things. got a nice pile of sticks. So our basic needs for a raft. I feel like we're getting pretty fulfilled here. Look at that. $45 sticks. So, yeah, well, I love this. This was not available back in the day. Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic. So yeah, that is my next target, kind of no matter what. I think that's going to probably end up being my main base. I'm pretty sure there's a freight, a cargo ship over there. Although a quick trip back over here to get some buoys might be in the works. You know, wouldn't hurt. But I think we're going to call this an episode. Yeah, let's get rid of that. We might stream some more today. Something else, I don't know. I got the next 2 days to do not too much. So we'll see. And I might even download another game. I don't know. We'll see. But we're definitely stranded in the deep right now. Let's get a quick screenshot just in case. But there you go, folks. We have survived our first few days here in Stranded Deep. We got a decent amount of food. We got a consistent source of water. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. I'm happy. We got a loom, we got leather, we got all kinds of good stuff. Really, for things to be really successful, I think I'm gonna go hit this island that we originally came from again. Grab some fibrous leaves from there, some wood, some different things, and bring those back over here, and then we'll start working on a raft. Just a small one. To get over there. Yes, yes. Alright. I just want to thank everybody that watches, likes, subscribes, shares, and does all the things for my videos. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate you guys. I always like to stress this is just like a fun thing that I like to do. It's not serious, folks. You know, have fun watching and have fun hanging out with pizza, right? If you want to chat, feel free to say hello whenever you want. If you want to lurk, feel free to lurk. Hello to my favorite lurker. You're the best. I always appreciate you, just so you know. Thank you for watching like every one of my videos. You are truly amazing. But yeah, gotta call it for the day. Merry Christmas Eve, everybody. I hope you have a good Christmas Eve. I hope you get everything that you know done. Your chores and your lights are going. Like I said, half of my complex is out of power right now. I hope they get their stuff done tonight. And I wish you guys well. I always hope you guys have a good day and you're doing what you want to do. So, if you happen to catch this, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you see this at a later date or time, thanks for watching. I really hope you guys have a great day, and listen, y'all be good to each other. Please. Especially this time of year, right? Alright. Peace.